Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Godless Journey. I wanted to take a little bit of time here to kind of review my last year. It was on Mother's Day last year that I kind of rejected the entire notion of God and labeled myself an atheist. I realize not all of you have been following me since my days of the blog, so I'll give you kind of a quick recap of what led to my deconversion. I had been going through a long time of doubt and hadn't been to church in a while, and someone invited us to their church for Mother's Day weekend, and I thought, hey, why not let's give this a go and see how it goes. I walked in and I remembered all of the same types of people. Of course, it was a different church, but the same groups were there, the same atmosphere. As we walked into the main sanctuary, we found our seats, and immediately the video announcement started playing, and the first one was telling you to go buy a cup of coffee at their little cafe out front. And that's the moment I realized that this is just a business. This is just another way for people to make money. I became angry and bitter for a very long time. But everything that happened after that is perhaps a story for another day. So what have I learned in that time? I've learned a lot, actually. I learned a lot about my former religion. I remember thinking that the Gospels were written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John at the time that Jesus was alive. Now I know that we have no idea who wrote those Gospels, and they were written conservatively 70 years after he may have died. I've also learned a lot about logical fallacies, and as well as arguments for both sides on the existence of God. One of the other things that I've learned is that I'm not alone. I am not the only person in the universe who doesn't believe in God. There are so many others out there. It blew my mind to realize that there was a whole television show called The Atheist Experience, where people give their sides of the arguments and see what sticks to the wall. The hardest part for me has been the loss of a sense of community. I know there's a huge online presence of atheists out there, but there's nothing really local to me. There's no atheist church I can go to every Sunday and just kind of hang out with people. I'm a pretty big introvert, so going out for no purpose and just hanging out with people is hard for me to do. With all that said, I know that there was a challenge posted by Godless Cranium, I think it was back in October now, asking what aspects of religion can't be replaced by secular means. And it's not that the community aspect can't be replaced by secular means, it just hasn't, and there really isn't a mechanism in place for it to happen. And I don't mean this to sound like I'm not grateful for the people I've met online. They've been super supportive and friendly and welcoming, but it's not a face-to-face interaction, which makes it very difficult. One of the biggest things that I always thought about was how have I changed during all this? What about me has changed? And I remember at first how fundamentally shaking it was. My entire foundation of everything I based my life off of was gone. And that was a scary moment. I wondered, am I still going to be a good person without the fear of hell in my life? Or am I going to make the right choices? But really, everything's kind of stayed the same for me. Everything I thought was right and wrong is still pretty much right and wrong, at least from when I started questioning things. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've been able to do is question things. Not everything is black and white. Everything has nuance. Everything has subtlety. There is no boogeyman waiting to get me if I make the wrong move or ask the wrong question. Would I go back if I could? That's a very difficult question to answer. I know some people have a real easy time saying, nope, done, easy as pie. But for me, there were aspects of life that were much simpler when I just held on to faith and didn't have to come up with answers on my own. I could just leave everything to some supernatural being to know what was right for me. But on the flip side of that, I'm also not opposed to the idea of a God. I don't know if there is one that lives outside of space and time. I don't even know what that would look like. So there's no real definition of a God that I've seen that I can wrap my head around enough to believe. So what's next here? What's on my plate for the next year, so to speak? Firstly, I'd like to be making videos on a more regular basis. I'd also like to help others in that if they need help. I work IT, so I kind of have a handle on the technology portion of video making. I may not be the best at it, but I can at least get you the right direction. I'd also like to get back into writing. My blog has been severely neglected, and that's really where my passion is, writing. So I need to get back on that horse, so to speak. And lastly, just to keep learning. Learn as much as I can about as much as I can. That sounded weird, but it's true. I hope you've all enjoyed this little trip down memory lane with me, and I'd love to hear your stories. So if you've got a YouTube channel that you are putting stories on, put it below. I want to see what you're saying. If you've got a blog, I want to read what you are writing. I want to know about your journey. I'm reachable here. I'm reachable on Twitter. I've got an email address if you feel comfortable that way. Just reach out. I want to hear about you. And if you like hearing about me, like this video, comment, subscribe, however you feel like it. And I hope to hear from you guys soon, and I hope to be putting another one of these out here pretty soon. Thanks so much.